Okay. Hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome back. So I wanted to just take a moment to discuss sort of end of semester stuff, things that you all might want to know. I'm recording this on Monday, April 27th. And yeah, if all went according to plan, you all should have received an email recently, probably in the last uh, 15 or 20 minutes, an email about your sort of current grade in the class with a potential grade projection. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Uh, and to do that, I'm going to pull up a copy of the syllabus for us to look at so you sort of know where I was coming from there. And while I'm saying this, or while I'm pulling this up, let me say that my goal in doing that was to give you sort of an accurate sense of what your current grade is, especially in the context of the fact that this has been sort of an odd semester and that you have some, or you have a good amount of choices or some good options for what you want to do from this point forward in the semester, as far as whether or not you want to take the class credit, no credit, or whether or not you want to withdraw from the class. So here's a page from our syllabus. This is page 4, and this is the grade calculation. And I just want to sort of remind you what's going into that. So the final grade calculation is a combination of many things. It includes your quiz grades, and that's the number of quizzes that you have mastered out of the total number of quizzes that we've had, as well as your grades from test 1, test 2, test 3, a homework grade, and a final exam grade, plus any additional extra credit that you've completed. So what I did in constructing your sort of grade projection is I went ahead and plugged in your current status on all of your quizzes and your first 3 tests and your homework. I don't have your final exam grade yet, of course, we haven't taken it, but I went ahead and just put into the model, I imagined that your final exam grade was equal to your worst test grade to date, whichever one that might be. So I looked up the minimum test grade and I put that in as your final exam grade. And I did not count any extra credit. That's the one thing that is in a separate grade book that I haven't ported over to my main grade book yet. So the grade that that I mentioned in the email is a grade that assumed, number 1, that you don't master any more quizzes, and number 2, that you get a final exam grade that is on par with your current lowest test grade. So what does that mean as far as the number that I sent you? It means that number has the potential to go down if you don't do any more quizzes and you do worse on the final exam than you did on any of the tests. That number could actually drop. And that is a possibility. But I think it's more likely that that number has the potential to go up, right? If you take some time to master some quizzes and you prepare for the final exam, decently and do reasonably well on it. For example, if you sort of average your other test grades, then that would not only boost your quiz grade, that would boost your final exam grade, and we have this rule where your lowest test grade can be replaced by your final exam grade. So that would raise one of your test grades as well. So there is upside on that number. So again, it's possible that the number could go down, but depending on how you play out the next week and a half, 2 weeks, there's, I think, a greater chance that that number goes up. So that is just like a quick rundown of where that email came from and sort of what that grade or where that grade projection, came from. Now, as far as your options, I just wanted to remind you, you have 2 options. Well, you have 3 options. One is to do nothing, to continue in the course and to get a letter grade at the end. Another option is to take the class credit, no credit, right, which is something SU is offering this semester. That would mean that you would get credit for the class, but not have it affect your GPA, assuming you get a grade of at least a 70 or a grade of at least a C- in the class. You would get the credit similar to if you had taken this in high school or taken like the BC Calc test or something like that. You would get credit for it, It would count for all of your major classes, your prerequisites, etc. But the grade would not be recorded in a way that affects your GPA. You would just have credit. And so that's the credit, no credit option. Additionally, you have the option to withdraw from the class. I think, yeah, so you have the option to withdraw from the class. Both of those options are available through Wednesday, and they both start the same way. And that would be you sending me an email from your official SU email address, CCing your academic advisor, sort of explicitly stating what you want to do. Like you want to switch to credit, no credit, or you want to drop the class. Right, then everything else happens on my end, but the important things are CCing your academic advisor and emailing me from your official SU email address. The administration has been really clear that it has to be from your official SU email address so that we know it really is you who is requesting this. So there are a lot of questions, and I see there's one in the chat here, questions about how this affects, or how credit, no credit affects potential either master's programs, or how it's looked at according to like sort of medical school, things like that. Like how different programs outside of SU might view credit, no credit. And I don't have a great answer for that. I think everybody sort of universally in the world recognizes that this is a highly unusual semester, and a lot of universities are switching to credit, no credit. Some of them are mandatory, some of them are opt-in, like we're opt-in. And so I like to believe that different programs will be flexible and generous when it comes to a credit, no credit class, especially for a class like Calculus 2. I like to think that, again, this is just me hypothesizing here, but I like to think if you were applying to I'm not even sure, again, just hypothesizing, if you were applying to, let's say, a psychology PhD program, you needed Calc 2 for some reason, you took that credit, no credit, but you did well on all of your like psych classes and had strong letter grades represented there. I like to think that professional program would overlook the credit, no credit in Calc 2. Can I definitively say that? No. I think a lot of these will be on a case-by-case basis, and I think if you have a specific program that you are interested in applying to, I would look at their website or determine how they feel, like reach out to somebody there, determine how they feel about a credit, no credit class. I also think this probably plays a larger role for people who are graduating immediately versus, those of you who are first or second years. I think a credit, no credit class, in your first year will not really matter when stacked against, the years to follow of graded classes. So I think there are considerations there. I think they're highly individualized, and I can't give you a specific advice. But I would say if there's something you're definitely aiming for, look at that website or reach out to those individuals to see how they feel about it. Yeah, unfortunately, I know that's like really crummy advice or very vague advice, but unfortunately that's really the best advice I can give at the moment. Yeah, any other questions about this? I'm very, very happy to talk to any of you individually about your thoughts or concerns about choosing, how you want to have this class count. So if you have specific concerns about your specific situation, please absolutely let me know. Send me an email, find me in office hours this afternoon. We'll totally talk about it. The final thing I wanted to say sort of in this direction, I guess two things. We still have the final exam to take. I've looked it up, and the final exam for this class is on Tuesday, May 5th. It was slotted for the morning. I'll be a little flexible with that, but Tuesday, May 5th is the date that we are aiming for. So that is 8 days from today. Yeah, 8 days from today. So that was thing number one. And then thing number two is about how you can improve your mastered or your not yet mastered quizzes. If you ever have a quiz that requires reassessment, just email me asking for that quiz. I'll send it to you. You can email it back to me. No problem at all. And we'll be flexible there. As far as deadlines for reassessing these quizzes, I think originally it was going to be the final day of classes, but because, you know, A, that's upon us, B, everything's a little weird, and C, I know you're in crunch mode at the moment, let's extend that out to the same time as the final exam. So everything, final exam and remastered quizzes for Tuesday, May 5th. Okay, and that's what I wanted to just sort of talk about through those different options. Again, very happy to talk to you individually, but any other questions or any questions at all about anything like this, sort of big picture, grade related? Okay, I'm gonna stop this video and then start up a new video for today's class. Let's see.